Let's do it. Let's do it. How y'all feeling? How you feeling? Good? Good. You looking good, man. So guys, I want to share something that I came across. It was something that I think I saw it. I don't know if I saw it in middle school. It was a long time ago. But it related pretty closely with some of the things that are going on in the world right now, okay? Because we come into this circle, we are pretty energized. There's a lot happening. We have safety that people across the world don't have access to, right? And so I'm going to read this real quick. I'll start with this, okay? So the first line, it says, "Beside him lay his rifle, and over his shoulders was slung a pair of field glasses. His face was the face of a student, thin and aesthetic, but his eyes had the cold gleam of the fanatic. They were deep and thoughtful, the eyes of a man who was used to looking at death." Okay? Guys, this story is of a soldier, okay? It's a young kid. This kid's going off to war. It said at the time he was hungry, so he was eating. And it was time for him he was going to take a smoke break, but he hesitated because he was afraid if he lit the match that the enemy would see him, okay? He said he decided to take the risk. Immediately, a bullet flattened itself against the parapet. If you don't know I meant to get a picture. A parapet is the barrier that's in front of soldiers when they're in the trenches, right? When they're really in the real trenches. The real trenches, right? It said another sniper was watching him, okay? Then an armored car came across the bridge. He heard the panting of the motor, okay? Then around the corner of the street came an old woman. Her head was covered with a shawl. She began to talk to the man in the turret of the car. She was pointing him out, okay? She was pointing him out. She was an informant. Then the sniper lifted his rifle, headshot to the driver, turns and kills the woman as well. Suddenly, from the opposite roof, a shot rang out. The sniper dropped his rifle with a curse, okay? So he had been seen. Somebody saw him. Somebody's looking for him, okay? Not realizing he exposed himself, he got shot in the arm, okay? So here comes the strategy part. He now knows that he was seen, okay? Taking off his cap, he placed the cap over the muzzle of his rifle. Then he pushed the rifle slowly upward towards the parapet until the cap was visible for the opposite side of the street. So what he's doing, he's showing his cap. He wants it to look like his head's there, okay? It says a few moments later, he drops his arm over the side to make it look as though he was dead, okay? Crawling quickly to his feet, he peered up to the corner of the roof. His ruse had succeeded. The other sniper, seeing the cap and the rifle fall, thought that he had killed the man. He was now standing before a row of chimney pots, looking across with his head clearly silhouetted against the western sky. The sniper smiled, lifted his revolver, right? Because I guess at the time, when he got shot, he dropped his sniper and picked up a gun. It was a lot closer than we thought. The distance was about 50 yards. A hard shot in the dim light, and his right arm was painting him like 1,000 devils. He took a steady aim. His hand trembled with eagerness. Pressing his lips together, he took a deep breath through his nostrils and he fired. He was almost deafened with the report, and his arm shook with the recoil. Then when the smoke cleared, he peered across with utter cry of joy. His enemy, here we go. When the smoke cleared, he peered across and uttered with a cry of joy. His enemy had been hit. Then the dying man on the roof crumbled and fell forward. The body turned over in a space, and the sniper looked at his enemy falling, and he shuddered. At this moment, the lust of battle died in him. So think about this. He just uttered a cry of joy. His enemy had been hit. And in the same moment, the lust of battle died in him. He became bitten by remorse. The sweat stood out from the beads of his forehead, weakened by his wound. And the long summer day of fasting, watching on the roof, he revolted down from the sight of the shuttered mass of his dead enemy. His teeth chattered. He began to, I don't know what the word is, gibber to himself, cursing the war, cursing himself, cursing everybody. He looked at the smoke and the revolver in his hand, and with an oath, he hurled it to the roof of his feet. The revolver went off and made a concussion, made a loud noise, and the cloud of fear scattered him from his mind, and he laughed. Taking the whiskey flask from his pocket, he emptied it in a draught. He felt reckless under the influence of the Spirit. He decided to leave the roof and look for his company commander to report. Everywhere around was quiet. There was not much danger in going through the street, so he picked up his revolver. He crawled through the skylight to the house. And here's the last paragraph. When the sniper reached the laneway in the street level, he felt a sudden curiosity as to the identity of the enemy sniper whom he had killed. Okay? So he's like, he got the guy. He shot him, right? He's like super excited, crying with joy. Then the next moment, he's in deep regret. Cursing the war, cursing war in itself, saying, what the heck am I doing? Feeling like he was just overwhelmed with this rage that he couldn't control, right? And so as he's leaving, he suddenly feels a curiosity to see the identity of the enemy sniper. He decided that that guy had to be a good shot. Because you guys remember when he put the cap, he put it up for the guy to see it? The guy shot right through it. Like if that was his head, he would have been gone. He said, this guy's a pretty good shot. Let me go see who he is. He wondered, did he know him? Perhaps he had been in his own company. Oh, so this is a civil war, by the way. This is the Irish Civil War. He said perhaps he had been in his own company before the army split, right before the split of the army. So what does the Civil War mean? It's internal. It's internal, right? These are two different sides of the same country, right? It said he decided to risk going over to take a look at him. He peered around the corner into O'Connell Street. In the upper part of the street, there was heavy firing, but around here was all quiet. The sniper darted across the street. A machine gun tore up the ground around him with a hail of bullets, but he escaped. He threw himself face downward beside the corpse. The machine gun stopped. And the sniper turned over the dead body and looked into his brother's face. Okay? Guys, this for me, man, I'll be honest, I think it was last Wednesday. Last Wednesday, I saw somebody posting their story, some of the stuff happening in Israel. Right? Some of the stuff happening with the Palestinians and everything that was going on. And I got hit with this emotion, like this hesitation of like, I don't want to really look at all this. You know what I'm saying? Because like there's people that are over there right now, like y'all know how we're like, oh, it's lit, like Instagram story. They're like, yo, Instagram story, we're getting shot at right now, okay? And so I pull up my Instagram, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, yo, I really don't want to look at this because I don't want this to kill my mood. And then I got hit with a thought like, kill your mood, bro. Kill your mood. People are being killed, and you're worried about killing your mood? Are you kidding me? Oh, so you're afraid of the truth of what's happening. You don't want to get uncomfortable. You don't want to really know what the truth is because you may not be able to handle that. You talk about being a truth seeker, right? We talked about that with the president from Eritrea, right? And so I went and I started looking, and I started looking some more. And I started seeing men running with their dead children. I start seeing, like, and I'm talking about this is on Instagram, y'all. It's like just open for people to see. I'm seeing people carrying their wives through rubble. I'm seeing people like buildings shattered, like just destroying. We talk about building a legacy, destroying legacies. And then I start seeing the back and forth, the all man stand for Palestine, all man stand for Israel, oh, hey, they should invade, oh, they shouldn't, oh man, the back and forth, the Gaza Strip, what's happening with the blockade, and oh man, they deserve this, and da. And I said, man, look at this. Look what we turned into. We've turned into a society of people. I'm not talking about just America. I'm talking about the world. We turned into a society of people where when something happens that we don't like, we're so willing to go to a place of saying, guys, there's people that are happy that this stuff's happening. Look, I don't care which side anybody's on. War is a loss for both parties. It always is. War is a loss for both parties because at the end of the day, it's a loss for humanity, okay? And so the reason why I wanted to give this message today, guys, is one, I think that in this country, we are in need of a reality check of what's happening in the world today. To know that you don't have to worry about going back home and picking up your daughter out of a burned building. To know that, like, your kids do have a chance to live their entire life and live their mark on the world. You know, like the calling that God has on their life. Like, they'll have a chance to fulfill that. You know, like, to know that, man, to understand that, I think it allows us to walk with a certain level of gratitude. It allows us, we were just in there earlier today talking about like what it means to be a flag carrier and why being a flag carrier is so important. Like to know that, man, we've been blessed with this opportunity. We've been blessed with so much freedoms that we have here. And the amount of, I remember going to Brazil and coming back here and then hearing how many people were complaining. I'm just like, what are you complaining about? Are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding? So it was a long drive today, so you're complaining? Right? Like you're not feeling the best, so you're complaining. Oh, your son called you out and said something that you didn't like, so you're complaining now? Now you're letting that get, it's crazy. If Mikhail says something I don't like, and I'm willing to get into this argument, this battle with him over that, and like get to a point where it's toxic, I'm no worse than the freaking people that are saying that this war is okay. I'm no better than them. I'm sorry, because if something like that could get to me, then if I was in that moment, I would probably act the same way they are. It's just, guys, it's just a smaller example of it, right? And so one of the things that I believe is this, guys, like we have an environment that we've been blessed with. We have an environment that we don't deserve. None of y'all earn this. Like I know it sounds good. Like, yeah, man, I was open-minded. You know, oh man, this is a blessing. But like I did it. No, you didn't. You didn't do anything to be born in this side of the world. There is no reason. What did Ella say? Where is Ella? Ella said, what did she say? The only difference between me and my cousin was I got lucky with a visa. You know? And so we were talking about it in here today, and I said, man, I feel like to be a flag carrier, like in life, not just here, anywhere, it's like we have a choice. We're either, what do we say? We're either going to give or we're going to take. Right? Law of reciprocity is a real thing. We're either going to give or we're going to take. And that energy that we give or take is either going to be positive or it's going to be negative. Those are the options that we have. Like if this was a quadrant, right? You look at the quadrant of like, is it important or urgent? You guys have heard those books before if you read any management books. If there was a quadrant, right? I'm going to either give or I'm going to take. And I'm going to choose positive energy or I'm going to choose negative energy. Then I feel like, man, what are we doing? Why don't we choose be positive and give? And let's compete with that. How about we compete with that? How about we compete like, you know what? I'm just going to contribute more than anybody in here. Like, I'm going to out-contribute this entire office. I'm going to out-contribute this entire office. I'm going to continue to be as positive as I can. Why don't we all compete for that? Because if we do that, guys, it allows us to come together in a way where, like, Arturo is so fired up that I'm freaking winning because he knows that it's competition for him to grow his base as well. And it actually creates the best of everybody in this environment. You know, it's a crazy thing. I'll leave you with this. At the end of the war, he looks at the guy and he sees his brother. He sees his brother. Guys, out in Palestine and Israel, they don't know that they're guys, this is family. These are families, guys. We are brothers and sisters in this thing called life. That's just the reality of it. I don't care where you're from, what you look like. I don't care if, you're Marcus and, we fight back and forth all the time, right? But at the end of the day, guys, we're all family. And I'm not talking about just in this environment. I'm talking about across the entire world. I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't care if you're a Christian. I don't care if let's keep it real. At the end of the day, what was Jesus? Exactly. He didn't come to preach a religion anyway, right? Let's just keep it real if we're really being honest here. And so I don't care what background you're from. I'm telling you right now, the world's job is to divide. We call it the United States of America, but then we have parties. That don't make sense. The political system in America is a party-based system. The word party, Latin root, partir, to divide. What? The world's job is to divide us, guys. So this environment's job is to unify at all capacities. And if this environment isn't the most unified environment in the DMV, then we're just adding to the problem, okay? And so with that being said, guys, like my message to everybody here is let's come together. Yes, let's freaking compete. But what I'm going to compete on is I'm going to out-serve, I'm going to out-give, and I'm going to out-positive everybody up in here. And I hope y'all take me on that challenge. Is that okay? Yeah. Let's do it. That's my pregame, guys. Thank you. Let's do it. Let's do it. So, and I don't know where I'm going, but I'm learning as I'm growing. That's the evolution.